I have a question for you. Maybe you shouldn't answer it anyway. Just think about it, though. Do you like your boss? Because today is National Boss Day. And we have a few revealing stats. 1/3 of employees feel unappreciated by their boss. Nearly 2/3 say they'd do a better job if they got along better with their boss. And this is all costing an estimated $360 billion in lost productivity in our country annually.
Yeah, but this is our favorite statistic. When given a choice between a better boss or a raise, a better boss or more money in your pocket.
Let me think about that.
All right?
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
65% of employees say they'd rather have a better boss.
Come on.
No, only 35% say they would rather have.
Who made up this stat?
You know what? It's the #1 reason why people quit companies. Everyone thinks, oh, they didn't get paid too much or the benefits weren't good. It's because they don't like who they work for.
Okay, you know what? Who did all this research? It's in a new book. It's called 5 Reasons to Tell Your Boss to Go Ahem. We're not going to read the full title. The author is with us this morning, Michelle McQuaid. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
So how did you do research? How did you do the research for this book?
Well, I spent years studying positive psychology, which is the science of how you bring out the best in people. And as I started to apply those ideas in workplaces, I realised how often it was going wrong. So as I researched the book, I got more and more curious about why was this such a big issue. And with National Boss Day coming up, we put a poll in the field of more than 1,000 American employees to see if they'd thank their boss.
Now, do most people, like their bosses, or do most people not like them?
Well, 38% of Americans said that they had a great boss, which is a good sign, but it leaves a lot of room for improvement. And one of the main reasons they were saying they didn't like their bosses was that they felt unappreciated and they felt their bosses were pretty unpredictable in terms of what they expected of them.
You know, I think the bottom line is when you have somebody telling you what to do, you're not going to like them regardless, right? But there should be like 5 reasons why you should tell your boss to go
You know what? I have to disagree with you. I don't
think it has anything to do with somebody bossing you around?
No, I do not think you dislike your boss because they're the boss and they're telling you what to do. I think there are inspiring bosses who are great leaders, who lead with direction, who motivate their workforce, who excite the people that work for them to go on a uniform mission. Then I think there are divisive bosses. I think there are selfish bosses, bosses who manage up, bosses who divide a workplace, and bosses who are demotivating or insulting. Those are the people you don't want to work for.
It sounds like you could have wrote your own book. Michelle, what are the 5 reasons in your book that you should tell your boss to go themselves?
Well, the 5 reasons are based on what creates well-being for us. And it's really, if your boss is making you miserable, if you're finding your work boring and tedious, if it's destroying your relationships with your colleagues or at home, if you're finding your work pretty senseless, and if you're not feeling any sense of accomplishment or achievement in your work, if that's your life day after day at work, then it's really not worth putting up with. The stress it creates undermines so much in your life.
Interesting.
See, do you think that a lot of these feelings are so pronounced because often we're spending more time at work than we are with the people we love?
Absolutely, and what we found researching this was that it takes most of us 22 months, almost 2 years, to rid ourselves of a bad boss. Now that's a long time to feel stressed and miserable about going to work. The consequence of that is you don't do as well at your job, you start to undermine your health, you destroy your relationships, and a lot of employees winding up feeling depressed and anxious. So don't put up with it.
So what really can you do? Can you go to HR?
Well, you can. I don't find it's the most constructive thing when I interviewed people because often they're working for your boss. So the good news is we found 24 proven practical ways that you can take some ownership as an employee and improve your relationship with a boss. Well, the simplest one is what we call a jolt of joy. So it's simply something that puts a smile on your face. Might be listening to a favourite song, watching a YouTube clip, getting out and exercising at lunchtime, or calling a friend and talking about anything but your boss. And what happens is that lowers your stress levels, puts some happy chemicals back in your brain, so you can think of better ways to deal with what's happening at work. And you can find 24 of these at tellyourboss.com.
See, think positive, Dave.
What do you mean? Why are you putting this on me?
Because I feel like there's a little negativity on this side of the room. Do you feel it too?
I love my job. I love coming to work with you every day. I love this. But it's okay. I don't think you have to love your boss. I think it's good if you respect your boss, but you don't have to
Definitely.
love. They're two different things.
Okay.
Very
But
much.
I do agree. You know, if your boss is making you miserable, you gotta go.
Yeah, or at least find ways to cope with it. It's hard in this economy to imagine just
Right,
walking out the
right,
door,
right.
but there are things that you can do to lower that stress at work and help yourself feel a little bit more confident and empowered to deal with what's happening rather than feeling helpless.
Michelle McQuaid, I like your advice.
Yeah,
Thank
good,
you.
you
good
so
stuff.
much. I feel better already.
I think we have some Facebook comments
Yeah,
we can
let's
go
do
to.
it.
So people chimed in. Someone wrote, "I love my wife." So again, this is very smart man. His
Okay.
wife is his boss.
All right, Virginia Wright says, my boss, in one word, inept. Oops.
There we go. Shan Russell. I have the best boss ever. She's a friend, a mentor, generous when able. I am a lucky girl.
Suzanne Krause Mancuso said, I am the boss, so I hope I am not hated. Yeah, nobody wants to be hated.
Yeah,
you think the boss wants to be hated? I don't think
I think
they
some.
get off
I
on
actually
on
think
that.
some do.
You
I
do?
actually think some do.
I don't think so.
But I think more than the term boss, colleague, team captain, boss. That's when you want to tell them to go.
You know where.
Right. But it's a very interesting subject, and I think there are ways we can make the workplace a lot healthier and a lot happier.
And more productive as
Yeah.
well.
Michelle, thanks so much. We're going to put more information on our website.
Really neat subject.
All right. So